I never once expected myself to like a Digimon show other than the original series Adventures and Adventure 2 and Tamers. I didn't expect myself to like one of the newer shows as much as I genuinely do. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to talk about Digimon Ghost Game. I'm blocking my pal behind me. I'll just put him somewhere around. I really like Digimon Ghost Game. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do, but I think that what they're doing right now is really special. And now, granted, I have not seen any of the Digimon Adventure 2020, so maybe that has the same vibe, but that always kind of felt like a cheap imitation of like they wanted to bring people back, or maybe like kind of just like redo the whole thing, but with that cast. I wasn't interested in that. But this has an awesome theming, an awesome an awesome cast, and I just really like it. It's simple, and yet it has so much great ideas floating around. Now, I just want to say Gamamon is best Mon. I love how cute he can be, but also very vicious. Okay, this is gonna be one of those videos where I just like ramble on, so please bear with me. If you have not watched the series, please go watch. But so because of maybe potential spoilers here, even though it's been like multiple months since this even happened, the moment that Gulus Gamamon showed up, I gasped. Because that combined with Bokomon, right? The guy that was originally from Frontiers. I absolutely loved that episode. It's so dark and sad, and Gamamon like realizing that his friend had legitimately died, because I think this is the first time in episode 13 that they had actually had any Digimon die, right? Because up until that point, they've just kind of let their enemies go, or they've learned a lesson, or whatever. And in this case, Digimon actually dies. I think it's a Sealsdramon or something like that kills him. And that's just sets this thing off in Gamamon, and it's so good. And I think that's where this show really diverts a lot from the last number of series. I've given some of the more recent series a try, sort of, at least an episode or two, right? I thought Cross Wars was kind of a dumb mechanic, or a dumb theme, a dumb gimmick, if you will. And I didn't think that, I felt like, at least, like, listen, I've never really watched Digimon in a original Japanese way. I've always seen it from whatever, the Western look, so dubbing, however that is. So I don't know if they like did some weird stuff to Cross Wars, but I didn't like what I saw. And obviously, I mean, like, it's a weird line to draw, right? These shows can be enjoyed by anybody, but they are primarily targeting kids. So I always kind of chalked up my, like, not disdain, but disliking of Cross Wars as, well, maybe it's just for kids. Okay, whatever. I don't care. And also, I didn't like the gimmick. This, however, humbles, and it kind of humbles in the series in a way that, like, it has a gimmick in that each episode is featuring a spooky Digimon, or a Digimon doing spooky things. There's kind of a horror aspect to it, and I'm really into horror. Well, I'm into some horror, but I like the idea of like creepy stuff going on, and I like that they're kind of balancing that along with the more traditional. Everybody gets one Digimon. There's no weird way to Digivolve. They just kind of do when they're in need. I was a little bit afraid that they would tie in the VB thing with like, oh, like the Digidestin. Well, they're not really called Digidestin, but like the partners would have to like run in place or something like that, or do some weird dumb thing to try to tie in the toy that they're selling. But they didn't. They just kind of had it be simple. It is when Gamamon or Angoramon or Jellymon need to Digivolve for whatever reason, they just do it. And that's super cool. It brings it back to the simple times of Adventure and Tamers, and then they added the ghostly aspects to the overall story, and I think that's awesome. I like that there's a long-running goal of like, well, Hero's dad needs to be found at some point. There's a mystery around that. There's kind of the long, I'm a little upset that they got rid of what is his name, Dracmon. I genuinely thought that they were gonna do something with him. I feel like maybe they like scrapped that because he was like looking for a partner, and then he showed up with Myotismon and got killed. So that was a little disappointing, but like I like that there's like it's not only just episodic, but there's a long running goal. There's something clearly going on. You've got Black Gatomon or Tailmon showing up in the series periodically to be like, yo, hey, something's going on. There's a reason why these Digimon are showing up in the real world, and I'm really excited because I have no doubt that eventually they will go to the proper digital world. And that's another thing. I like that they have like a weird dimensional shift that they can cause in order to downplay the damage that they would otherwise do to the real world. It's a nice way that they can have their cake and eat it too. They can have buildings explode and do whatever, while at the same time keep it relatively like, oh, well, nothing really needs to change in the real world. Now let's talk about the Digimon specifically. I really like that. Okay, so two things. One, while I'm not against them finding, like, having their enemies become friends in some capacity, I think, what's his name? Clockmon? Is it Clockmon, like the hooded guy that like was like stealing time from people in the first episode, which is really cool. I like that a lot. While I'm okay with that, I'm glad that they're kind of starting in more recent episodes. They're kind of starting to go a little darker. And Goramon just recently had to kill a friend Digimon because he was gonna kill a bunch of other people. By the way, that episode definitely ended with people being like dead, right? Because they don't, like in all the other episodes, the people come back in some way, right? It's like, oh, these people are being kidnapped or being put to sleep or whatever. And then they come back and it's like, oh, okay, something happened, right? But like, they're all fine. In the episode with Angoramon and Digitamamon, those people are just gone. And then the narrator comes on at the end of the episode and is just like, I guess everything's the house is still there being mysterious and people are like, whatever, afraid of it. And then they never, I don't, unless I completely am like forgetting or blanking on it, they don't reference those people ever coming back to life. So I think they're dead, which is really, really metal, especially for a show that is like, on the whole, meant for kids, right? In any event, I got off track. My main focus I want to talk about right now is the Digimon behind me and wherever I put in post, Gamamon. I really like their designs. I'm not like crazy about what's Angoramon's Simba Angoramon. I'm not crazy about it, but I kind of see where it's coming from. With Gamamon, I love that he's like a younger brother to Hero. I love that I love that there's kind of like, he's kind of got a little bit going on. There's a little bit of mystery going on, and that he's kind of growing. And I do like, I don't know if this is supposed to be a direct reference, but like there's that Netflix show about kids going out and like running errands. And there was a whole episode where Gamamon is sent out on an errand and they're all watching him to make sure that he's okay. I love that. It was so cute. But I like that, especially since like typically the main characters Digimon, they're either hot-headed or confident or just like overall competent, I guess in some capacity. But this is like, oh, he's taking care of a younger brother, and the younger brother just happens to be able to digivolve and do a giant dinosaur thing. Also, my God. Okay, so I got spoiled on the fact that Kano Weissmon was going to be in the episode with, I think it was with the Myotismon. But that didn't take away from the fact that it was really, really cool. And I like that they brought him back once or maybe twice since. And it's just kind of like, this happens. My favorite of the like champions for Gamamon, I think it's Wezen Gamamon. I like that it turns into a traditional Triceratops, but with like a railgun on its head. It's great. I love that form. I'm a little put off by like how Betel Gamamon, he's like kind of this weird, muscular, chunky looking like guy. So it's a little awkward for me. I don't know how I feel about him, but he's still pretty cool. I like all the forms ultimately. And Goramon, like I said, I love Angoramon. I love that he's like kind of like he's knowledgeable, he's smart, and it's perfect because he's teamed up with Ruli, who is maybe not super duper knowledgeable, but she seems to be more like responsible in some ways than the others. She's really into like the social media stuff and whatever, and I like that he's kind of like a guardian angel for her. I like their dynamic. I like his dynamic with all the other characters. Simba and Goramon. He's not my favorite design, but ultimately I'm all right with him. I like his design, and I've seen I don't know what the ultimate forms are called other than Gamamon's Digivolutions, but he becomes kind of feral in his ultimate form, which we haven't seen in the show. I don't think. I still have like an episode or two I need to catch up on, but he kind of becomes feral, and that's really weird, and I'm excited to see that happen in the show. Plus, he's just like a big bunny guy. He's so fluffy. How can you not like him? Last, let's talk about Kyo and Jellymon. Their dynamic is kind of, I don't know if it's borderline annoying, but it's never so annoying that I'm like, oh, eye roll or anything. Him being super afraid of ghosts and like spooky things is fun, but at a certain point I kind of just want him to just do what he needs to do. And it's like every episode he's always afraid. And the one thing I will say I do like is their dynamic of like he becomes afraid and Jellymon is basically the one that gets him to do what he needs to do. And also he has to call her Jellymon Sama, which is like master or mistress Jellymon. So I like that. That's kind of funny. The fact that he's like a pushover. Also, apparently he's graduated college, but now he's like, I don't know. Like he's just like, yo, I guess I'm going to go to high school or middle school or whatever grade they're in. I think they're middle school. I guess I'm just going to go to this lower grade school in Japan anyways. Whatever, just keep him somewhere around the other two. Jellymon then digivolves into Tesla Jellymon. I actually like this design. For the life of me, I can't remember what her ultimate looks like. Maybe I should look it up. Oh, okay. So she basically just gets more spikes and bubble looking things on her. So it's just more of the same. The one thing that's interesting about these two's evolutions is their ultimate, like all of them are kind of more like, and these two become more like kind of crazy looking. Like Gulus Gamamon is like Gamamon's evil looking Digivolution, but then his ultimate is like this pristine dragon, and it's super cool. I love Kano Weissmon. But then their ultimates are like kind of like feral in a way, so it's really weird. I wonder if like we're being misled by those dim cards, and it's like maybe they have normal ultimates. But we don't know yet. I get the feeling that something's really gonna fundamentally change, maybe when they do go to the digital world. I'll close this out by saying that some of my favorite episodes I really liked. Oh man, you guys are, anybody who actually is like really, really into Digimon and knows all the like, if this is Pokemon, then I would be like, oh, okay, I love that. I know that, I love that Pokemon and whatever. The plant Digimon that was like infecting people with his vines and like the like poison, I really liked that episode. It turned out to be way darker than I expected it to. I really liked the Myotismon episode, and I really like the Arukenimon episodes, because those are like the ones that are like especially creepy when things like really are really going on. And also it's really cool to see Arukenimon again, because she has not been, I don't know if she's been in really anything significantly since 02, maybe a couple of cameos here and there, outside of obviously the games. But it was really cool to see her in like her human form, and that's like that was definitely a nostalgia thing for me. I am just so excited to watch more. I might actually get caught up after recording this video. I think I only have a couple more episodes to watch if I'm not already like only one behind. Let me know what you guys think about Digimon Ghost Game. is it exceeding or maybe lower? Is it above or below your expectations, or meeting your expectations of where you thought this series is going to be? Who's your favorite Digimon that we've met? Who's your favorite Digimon of theirs? What else? Just let me know what your overall thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game are. I'd love to talk about Digimon a little bit more on this channel, so make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed anything I had to say, or if you want to see me do more Digimon content. I'm obviously much more of a Pokemon guy as far as like being all-encompassing, but I definitely love Digimon to some degree. I love this show. I've been a Digimon fan as a whole since the beginning almost, or at least since like not Zero Two, since Adventure first came out in the States. So let me know if you guys want to see more of this stuff. Make sure to leave a like, and make sure to subscribe if you do want to see more, because maybe I will make some more. So let me know. I will see you guys hopefully very, very soon. See ya.